On health, resident doctors of the Trauma Center of the University of Medical Sciences Hospital, Ondo Town, Ondo State today, 2nd April 2024, have staged a peaceful protest to express their dissatisfaction against the non-payment of salaries and allowances. To show their displeasure towards the unpleasant situation, they declared a 2-week warning strike. KAFTAN TV correspondent who was at the scene of the protest now report.
Resident doctors of the Trauma Center of the University of Medical Sciences Hospital, Ondo Town, Ondo State, led by Dr. John Matthew, the president of the Association of Resident Doctors, UNIMED, today, 2nd April 2024, staged a peaceful protest to express their dissatisfaction against the non-payment of salaries and allowances, and also declared a 2-week warning strike. Dr. John Matthew, while leading the demonstration, stated the reasons for the action to be lack of proper welfare for the doctors, non-payment of up to 4 to 6 months' salaries to some of the doctors, failure in payment of promised hazard allowance, and stoppage of palliatives for the resident doctors. He called on the school management and the Ondo State government to do the needful as soon as possible.
The reason behind this action is as a result of the injustice, unfair treatment of some of our doctors. And what do I mean by injustice and unfair treatment? We have doctors who have been working for an upward of 7 months now without salaries. Some 6, some 4, some 5. But the highest is, this is their 7th month without salaries. And these are young doctors, majorly young doctors fresh out of school with their first job experience for the 5, 6, 7 months in this institution. And that is why we say this is unfair, this is dehumanizing. So that is one of the reasons why we are out here today. Other reasons are hazard allowance. It will interest you to know that Ondo State is now the only state, the last state of the entire southwestern state to commence the payment of hazard allowance. We were paid hazard allowance over 1 year after Ekiti. Ekiti commenced hazard allowance payment in February of 2023. We just got our hazard allowance in March of 2024. There was palliative that was paid by the government to cushion the effect of the economic hardship in the country, but our young doctors were also left out for no reason. They got 1 month, and since then, they were not paid.
The concerned resident doctors expressed their displeasure towards the unfavorable working conditions they are subjected to and called for immediate actions to remedy the situation. They also said if the necessary payments are not made during the striking period, the doctors will commence an indefinite strike until their demands are met.
We are gathered for one reason here today, for the payment of our salaries. I resumed work last year, November, and since then, I've never been paid any salary. April is the starting of the 6th month, and I've not been paid. No salary, no palliative, no hazard allowance. How are they expecting us to cope?
Today, I feel like crying because the kind of situation our members are being subjected to. It's no longer a news that some of our members are being owed salary up to 6 to 7 months. Now, how do you expect these people to survive?
Okay, basically this strike action is taking place because there are some of our colleagues, which I'm also part of, that have been owed for almost 7 months now, because this is my 7th month. Then some, in case of palliative, not duly paid, hazard allowance not duly paid. And this is actually alarming, because how do you expect me, fresh graduates, coming into the should I call it slavery world now, and then not getting any money? It's embarrassing going back home, calling parents, getting money from them to survive, for transportation even to the hospital. It's so bad.
We have exhausted all possible avenue. It will interest you to know that a letter was written to the management 21 days ago stating our grievances, stating our resolution, and we gave them the ultimatum that by the end of this month, if these people are not answered, that we are going to embark on strike. We don't have any other option. So we expect that all the authority concerned we swing to action so that we can go back to our wards, so that we can go back to our clinic and attend to our patients. So we want government and those that are concerned to expedite action.
Addressing the protesting doctors on behalf of the school management, Dr. Akimbodewa, the deputy director of the hospital's clinical center, who refused to be interviewed, attributed the delay in payment to system error and promised that salaries will be paid on or before Friday, 5th of April 2024.
The CMAC was earlier on here to address us, who made promise that by Friday that something positive and tangible will be done. So we hope that by that time frame, something positive will have come out so that we can call off the strike and go back to our work.
By the time these ones are done with the house job now, quite a number of them will leave, including the medical officers and resident doctors. A lot of them will start flying. And I told you that we down from 150 resident doctors to 22. This was the reason. So what we are saying is that the government and the management of the hospital should take as a point of priority the welfare. Here we are talking about the most basic of the welfare, which is salaries. There are other welfare packages that states are coming up with. We are not even clamoring for that. So they should prioritize the welfare of our doctors.
To prevent future occurrence of protest and strike actions by doctors, it is important that government provide enabling environment, favorable conditions, and adequate welfareism for the doctors. Erioluwa Omoniyi, reporting for KAFTAN TV.